Good morning, everyone. This is Father Nate, missionary priest in Italy, and thanks for joining us today, April 28th, on No Greater Delight, our podcast on Marian feasts and Marian meditations. So today, let's see what's happening in the Marian world. We'll start in Bavaria in Germany, where they celebrate Frau Stifterin in Etal, like I said, in Bavaria, Germany. After a long struggle with the Pope, the Emperor Louis IV returned from Italy to Bavaria. Now, the story is told that on the road to Augsburg in the Gransvang Valley near Oberammergau, that's I think where they have the famous Passion Procession every 10 years, his horse genuflected 3 times, marking the spot where on April 28, 1330, he was to found the Etal Abbey, a monastic complex housing Benedictine monks and nuns, as well as Teutonic knights. Right now, Emperor Louis donated to its church a marble statue of Our Lady, which he had brought from Italy. Right now, the founding lady soon became the object of pilgrimages. When the original Gothic buildings burned in 1744, they were rebuilt in the Baroque style and with great ornamentation. One of the many abbeys that closed during the secularization of Bavaria in 1803, Etal returned to the Benedictine order in 1900. And in 1920, Pope Benedict XV named its church a minor basilica. And then we'll head on down to Italy for the rest of our feasts today. We head to Bergamo in Lombardy, Italy, where they celebrate Madonna della Castagna, that's Our Lady of the Chestnut. And this recalls an apparition that took place in 1310. Although here, so reading here, it looks like it says another one says it's 1510. Okay, 1310, 1510. The important thing is that it was April 28th. So the story of the apparition goes like this. It was in a chestnut grove, if you will, that the sanctuary comes from, right? Because the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared to 2 men, it says here, a father and son, who were going there to gather the leaves, right? So Our Lady requested that the 2 visionaries recount to the entire population of the village what had happened, right? And to let them know that the Most Holy Mother of God explicitly asked them that in this isolated place, there be built a church in her honor, right? In order to highlight the importance of her message and to get rid of any doubt that it was really Our Lady who was there, suddenly, on a great one of these large chestnut trees, the fruits, the chestnuts themselves, became mature, and that's why the event is known as Our Lady of the Chestnut. Right? Like I said, it says that this was April 28th, 1510, so that's probably more accurate than 1310, but the forest actually belonged to a priest, Giovannino Moroni, and he was ecstatic for the fact that Our Lady had appeared on his property, and so he gave them permission to build a church in honor of Our Lady, right? Next, we're going to go a little bit further in Italy, where they celebrate Madonna delle Grazie, Our Lady of Graces, in Castelvetere sul Calore in Avellino, Campania, Italy, right? So every April 28th in this place, Castelvetere sul Calore, there is the Feast of Our Lady of Graces, who's the patroness of the town, right? So it was actually in many, many centuries ago when Our Lady appeared to a very elderly benefactress of Castelvetere, right? Asking her to build a church in Our Lady's honor, right? However, the authorities of the time didn't consider this elderly woman to be in her right mind. So they said, no, we're not going to do that. However, this woman was very strong in her faith, and she didn't give up. She kept insisting. When finally Our Lady appeared in her room again, promising to lay out, actually, like in snow, like in fiocchi di neve, so like in snowflakes, where exactly the church should be built. And when that happened, the authorities radically changed their minds and said, okay, we can do it. So every April 28th, in honor of Our Lady of Graces, there's a huge feast in which the children dress up actually like the statue of Our Lady with gold like thread, right? And that's the story there. And then last but not least, they also celebrate the Madonna Incoronata, Our Lady Crowned, in Foggia, Italy, right? So this finding of the statue takes place, it goes back to the 11th century, when a hunter was in the woods, and he found this statue. And so they started like a little chapel, and then it became a monastery, and then a huge a Benedictine monastery. The church there was expanded in the 15th century, and now there is a huge sanctuary there, where, in the shadow of which, there are many religious and social works that are, it says, prosperano numerose opere religiosi sociali. So many of these religious activities and social assistances, if that's even a word, are growing happily in its shadow. And so that's what we're celebrating today in the Marian world on April 28th. For today's Marian meditation, taken from the book by Father Ildefonso Villar, we continue with meditation 59, entitled The Wedding of Cana. And today we consider the third point, the words of Mary. Mary could not stand aside and do nothing. She had been invited by the bride and bridegroom and must do something. Her heart urged her to action. Nobody says anything to her. She it is who, on finding some suffering and sorrow, unbidden springs to action. From the heart of Mary learn bounty, mercy, and delicacy, and at the same time trust in her, since she will certainly behave in the same manner towards you. Then it was that Mary, turning to Jesus, whispered, "They have no wine." Words so simple and yet so eloquent, neither an order nor a prayer, just the bare statement of a need. Yet she does not doubt that Jesus will see to it. She need not ask or order. She knows this is enough to express a desire, and Jesus will understand. For a son, the desire of the mother is a law, not a command. However, Jesus apparently seems on this occasion to refuse the request and answers, "What is it to you and to me?" It is though he had said, "It is not our banquet, we are not giving it, so it is not our concern. Let those concerned think of it." Moreover, is not this lack of wine just a mere trifle? Did it much matter that they should run short of wine just towards the end of the banquet, when everybody had already drunk to their heart's content? Had it been the beginning, then it would have been something serious, but surely not now. Moreover, since this is the case of something exclusively material, why should there be any hurry to perform a miracle? And as if all these reasons were not enough, Jesus adds, "My time has not yet come." In other words, this is neither the place nor the time appointed by my Father to start working miracles and to manifest my divine mission to the world. For today's reading from the Admirable Heart of Mary, we continue with chapter 4, Heart of Mary, Mirror of Charity. Mary's love is swift to help those that invoke her. Remember, O most pious Virgin, says Saint Bernard, that never was it known from the beginning of the world that any of those who fled to thy protection and sought the help of thy prayers was left unaided. O most amiable Mary, adds the same saint, we cannot pronounce thy name without being comforted. No one can invoke thee without being heard, or without feeling the effects of thy assistance. Mary's is a love that is mild and meek, and knows not how to be severe or terrifying. She is full of sweetness, says Saint Bernard. Her heart and mouth are filled with milk and honey. Milk and honey are under thy tongue. That's the Song of Songs, chapter 4, verse 11. Her heart is manna, writes St. Ambrose, containing all the delights of paradise. It is a promised land, observes St. Augustine, flowing with milk and honey. The love of the admirable heart of the Mother of God is a paradise of delights for all hearts who, being detached from all earthly things, strive to serve, honor, and love only Jesus and Mary, the King and the Queen of Heaven.
Hello, and we hope that you enjoyed listening to our Marian podcast. In the spirit of Saint Bernard of Clairvaux, we say to you that there is no greater delight than to spread the devotion of Our Lady. We hope you share these sentiments and encourage you greatly to share with a loved one. Know that you are always in our prayers, and we ask that you keep us in yours. God bless.